I was sharing in my email this morning that this past week I had kind of a low week. I just felt kind of depressed and heavy and dull. And it's so interesting when you're in a not good state. It's really hard to pull yourself out of it. Like I have all these tools. I was telling my daughter, I have all these tools to help me manage my anxiety and when I'm feeling low. And when I'm feeling low, that I don't want to do them, even though they're what I know would be of help. And the exploration of the inner landscape of understanding where I am and what's going on is sometimes such a mystery. What is it that triggered this feeling in me, and why is that happening, and why don't I want to do anything about it, even though I'm really not happy with how I'm feeling? 2 years ago, I was in Colorado in the Rocky Mountains for the Anusara teachers gathering. And we were like in a valley surrounded by mountains, and the landscape was spectacular and so majestic and so beautiful. And we explored and went on different hikes and, found the red rocks of, the Red Rocks Amphitheater and near Denver, and just had such a marvelous time and experienced so much beauty. And yet that beauty is created by millennia of weather and tectonic plates moving and things getting eroded and washed away or built up. And, we look at that landscape and we look at the valleys and the depressions and the gulches, and we say, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, the way that the water carves so deeply into the rock face. And yet when we look at ourselves and the inner landscape, it's hard and yet so important to also see the beauty in all the things that have carved us, because we're not a flat lawn. We also have tectonic plates that move through our lives that build us up, and we have erosion that wears us down in places. And when we look at the whole of the inner landscape, we can focus on the things that have brought us to where we are in the negative, or we can focus on the beauty of what has remained, at what is left after all of those different forces act on us. Yoga is nothing if not the exploration of that inner landscape. It's the understanding and pulling apart and diving into ourselves on so many different levels. When we practice, we pay attention to the breath, which is moving in and moving out. We pay attention to the sensations in our bodies. We pay attention to the emotions that maybe are rising up, the feelings that are rising up. We pay attention to the ways in which we block ourselves and make ourselves or allow ourselves to feel limited and not good enough or not as good as, in so many different ways, rather than the recognition that we are limited yet beautiful and also unlimited and part of a vast array, which is the entire universe. We are, one little speck, which is separate from the whole, although we experience ourselves as separate from the whole. So as you practice this morning, as we practice together, we're going to explore the inner landscape. And of course, that is such a very personal and intimate thing that each of us will do on our own, in our own way. But the invitation is to just allow ourselves to look inside and see the beauty of the gulches and the valleys and the crevices and the movement of the plates that have formed and created who we are. So please take a steady seat. You can sit cross-legged or in any way that you want. Widen your sit bones back and apart. And that just sets a wider foundation for our seat and for our practice and for ourselves. Have your sit bones down. And as you root into the earth and into the earth of yourself, rise up so that you can perhaps have more of a bird's eye view of who you are and how you are. So extend up through your spine, each vertebra lifting up away from the ones below it, all the way through your neck and the crown of your head. Broaden your collarbones and bring awareness to your breath. Closing your eyes, fill yourself up with a breath that opens all the creases and crevices of your lungs, that opens up the spaces in your body that may be compressed or injured or just holding tight for one reason or another. Open up the spaces in your heart and the spaces in your mind. And fill yourself up with the connection to all things, which the breath bridges. And join your palms together in front of your heart, and we'll chant the sound Om 3 times to begin. Please take a deep breath in. Om. 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 Bowing your head, honor your inner landscape, and lifting the head, open the eyes. Good. Please come to all fours to tabletop, hands and knees. Set your foundation with clarity, spreading the fingers, spreading the toes. And then reconnecting with your breath. Begin the flow of cat and cow. This is a flow that we are all so familiar with. We do it so often at the beginning of class. And since it's so familiar and comfortable, let it be an opportunity to explore more deeply into yourself, into your body, but also just into your being. You take a look at the inner landscape that is showing up for you today. And then begin to make a circle, shoulders up and to the right, back, over to the left and forward, circling the whole torso. Keeping that cat and cow going even as your body's circling. So as you go back, the spine rounds towards the sky, and as you come forward, you arch, opening yourself up to the mystery of who you are. And then change the direction of your circling. Go the other way. And all the while, the hands are steady and strong. Mound of the index finger, mound of the thumb, mound of the pinky and outer edge of the heel of the hand, all pressing down. 10 finger pads anchored. Take one more circle and then come to neutral. Stretch your right leg back, put the toes down on the floor and press out through the heel. And as you press out through the heel, lift the low belly up so the low back is not collapsing, and stretch into the right calf and the right hamstrings. Spin the right heel down. Spin the left foot out to the side just a little bit for balance and lift up the right arm. And then exhale, sweep the right arm underneath the left and engage the muscles on the left side of your waist. You're just reaching through, reaching into nothing, reaching into the air. And then inhale, take the arm up. And again, exhale, sweep the arm under, engaging in, pulling in with those abdominals. Inhale, lift the arm up. And a few more times at your own pace, the front of the belly toned, and particularly the left waist engaging as you reach under. So you're not bringing the shoulder down to the floor, you're just reaching as far as you go. One more time. And place the right hand back down. Reposition the left foot, the right foot. Stretch the left arm forward, finding a place of balance and stability. And then float up the right leg, hovering and hugging. Muscles to bone. Take a full breath in, belly still strong. So left arm forward, right leg back. We're still on the same side. And then exhale, touch elbow to knee in. And then inhale, extend out. Elbow to knee. Inhale, extend out. And one more time, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend out, hover and hold. And then place the left hand down, the right knee down. And then pause and take a breath. And allow yourself a moment to just be. Stretch back the left leg. Press out through the heel. Stretch into the calf. The belly strong. The breath steady, hands strong. This idea of being, of just being with yourself, with the inner landscape. In Sanskrit, there's a word for it. The word is sat, S-A-T. Sat means to be. Not as in a verb, but maybe as in a verb. But it's just the experience of being that is not only the sense of being who you are, but it's a sense of being as in the universe is being. It is a being, but it is being. It is existing. Spin down the left heel. Spin out the right foot a little bit for balance and lift up the left arm. And then exhale, pull under. And inhale up. And exhale under. Engaging those right oblique abdominals and under and up. Two more, under and up, under, up. Good. Place the left hand back down, bring the legs back to center and lift up the left leg, lifting from the inner thigh. So do an internal rotation on that leg. The belly is strong, stretch the other arm forward and then elbow to knee. Touch in, connecting in deeper to yourself and stretch out. The more we are connected to the inner landscape and connected to it in a way that recognizes the beauty of it, hold and balance, the more easily we are able to connect with the outer landscape of this whole universe. Exhale, lower the hand to the floor, drop the knee back down, and then settle back in child's pose, any form of child's pose that serves you. And practice sat. Just being, not doing, just allowing yourself this time to fully be present with yourself. So there's this idea of being, and it's coupled with this idea of awareness, chit, that when we are, when we be, we are aware that we are. And that's sat, being, and chit, awareness, and they go together, sat and chit. Good. So that's what we're going to look at as we continue with our practice this morning. It's this deep inner dive into the inner world. Please come up to downward facing dog. So set the hands again, really clearly. Curl the toes under, shoulder blades hugging the back body, and then lift up and press yourself back and take a moment to move and pedal how you like to move and pedal. And then make your way forward to Trikonasana, stepping or hopping. Come to a steady forward bend. The legs strong and clear, hands bearing some weight, either on the floor, blocks, or shins. Connect to the breath. And then begin to move the spine like you're doing cat and cow. Inhaling, arching, lifting the head, looking forward, coming partway up. And then exhale, folding and bowing. A few more times at your own pace. Maybe even closing the eyes to take a deeper look inside. And the next time you inhale, rise all the way up. Sweep your arms to the sky, stretch up. And exhale your hands into your heart. We're going to do a couple rounds of slow sun salutation. As my friend Rachel says, get off the bus at your stop. So anytime you want to just pause or stop, please do so. We're just going to move through this really slowly. So it's really a warm up for the body, but also an invitation to move slow, to feel, to pay more attention to the ways in which each movement, each breath, each muscle group works together. A look inside, hands to the heart, step to the top edge of your mat. And with strong, steady legs, inhale, reach your arms to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Take a breath here. A full inhale, a full exhale. And then step the right foot back to a lunge. Hands stay on the floor and take a few breaths. Feel the extension of the back leg. And notice if you can internally rotate it a little bit more, inner thigh rolling up towards the ceiling to bring a little bit more alignment and clarity to the pelvis. Place the hands and step back, downward facing dog. And inhale, come to plank pose. If your shoulders are challenged or your back, you can always drop the knees to the floor here and just bear less weight. And as we lower to chaturanga or knees, chest, and chin, please pay attention to the shoulders not dropping below the height of the elbows. And come down to the belly, cobra pose. Lifting up just as high or as low as you want. Energize the legs because that will protect your back. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. And step the right foot forward, lunge. And as the right foot comes forward, do a big internal rotation of the left leg. And then external rotation of the right hip. So tack that hip back and down as though you're tucking in the corner of a sheet with that front hip. Push off with the left toes, step forward. Inhale, rise up. Stand up, stretch up. Exhale, fold right back down. And one breath. Step the left foot back, lunge. Firm into the legs, back leg rolling in and up, little front hip tucking in and down. And then from the core of the pelvis, extend. Grow longer through your legs, longer through your spine. Downward facing dog, press back. Plank pose, knees up or down. Knees, chest, and chin, or chaturanga. And cobra pose. Strong legs, toenails pressing. Heart opening to where you are today. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot forward, lunge. Lining yourself up. Right foot forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, hands into your heart. So I'm going to pick up the pace a little bit. But if you want to move as slowly as we just did, please know you're on your own and you can do that. No problem. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, bow to your landscape, to you, to yourself. Right foot back, lunge. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot forward lunge. Left foot forward. Uttanasana. Inhale all the way up to stand. Exhale, fold right back down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bow. Left foot back lunge. Downward facing dog. Plank pose. Lower. Cobra pose. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Left foot forward. Inhale. Right foot forward. Exhale. Inhale. Rise all the way up. And exhale, hands into your heart. And then pause. Sat. Chit. Be aware of your being. This landscape that is unique, that is beautiful, that is you. Turn to the long edge of your mat, take a wide stance. Turn the right foot out 90 degrees. Open the arms to the side, Virabhadrasana 2, second warrior, bend the right knee. And you just sit as deep as you want to sit today. Full form of the pose, the right thigh is parallel to the floor, but you can be anywhere in between. The thing to be really mindful of is that your knee stays over your ankle. So you can shorten your stance or widen it to keep the knee over the ankle. Windswept warrior, lean back. Curl back. Yeah, Josephine, bend the right knee a lot. Yeah. And then Parshvakonasana, come up. Right forearm on the thigh, left arm over the ear. Or you can take the full form of the pose and drop the right fingertips to the floor. Then from the core of your pelvis, extend out. And at the same time, pull in. And perhaps just for a breath or two, close your eyes. And let the awareness turn in, explore in. Take one more breath. Inhale, come up, straighten the right leg. Reverse triangle pose. So the legs stay straight. Left hand reaches back for the thigh. Right arm over the ear. Keep the low belly toned. Palate pressing back. Trikonasana. Stretch the arms and reach the right hand down the leg. Any amount. Left arm to the sky. Now engage the right gluteal muscles and sweep the right hip under so that you can lean back a little bit more. Take one more breath here. And then rooting down into your legs, bring yourself all the way back up. Lower your arms, parallel your feet. Pause. Sat. Be. Chit. Aware of your being. And of course, there's a third word that gets tacked on to those two, which is ananda. That when we are deeply in ourself and aware, it's blissful. Not bliss as the opposite of distress, but bliss in terms of a feeling of connection that is above and beyond the normal course of emotion and feeling. Turn the left foot out 90 degrees. Set a really clear foundation. Pull skin to muscle to bone and pull from your feet up into the core of the pelvis. This drawing into your inner world. Open the arms and then sit into your warrior 2. By sit, I mean bend the left knee and let the thigh bone move into a position as though it were sitting in a chair, or as close to that as you're going. And you just settle into the pose. Be here. And when you engage the muscles to the bone, it kind of gives more of a cohesive sense of self. This idea of pulling in, physically pulling into ourselves. Windswept warrior, lean back. Right hand to the right thigh. Left arm over the ear. And the belly is strong. The pubic bone lifts up. and the flesh of the buttocks pulls down the back. Trikonasana, left forearm on the thigh, right arm over the ear or fingertips to the floor. And you spread that awareness, that Sat and Chit, through your whole body. So start in the core of your pelvis, kind of the focal point of the pose, and spread from there. Go first down through your legs to the floor. Then spread that awareness up through your torso and out through your arms, expanding in every direction, front and back, forward and outward. Straighten the left leg, come up, reverse Trikonasana. Right hand reaches back, left arm over the ear. Breath steady, legs strong. And then Trikonasana. Bring the hand down in front. Left leg, shin, ankle, block. And breathe. And be. And look in. One more breath. Pushing into the feet, inhale and rise all the way up. Exhale, lower the arms and parallel the feet. Place the hands together behind the back. Roll the shoulders back through your heart. If you hyperextend your elbows, put a little bend in the elbows, firm the muscles of the arms, and then press the shoulders wide as you pull the legs in towards each other. Then hinge forward, crown of the head towards the floor, knuckles towards the sky, and be in the pose. Feel the muscles that are stretching or working. Feel the breath moving. Notice whatever is arising inside of you. Take 2 more breaths. And release the hands down to the floor. Come up to a flat back. And heel toe or hop the feet back together. Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up. Take the arms up, stretch up. And exhale, bring the hands to the heart. And the knees forward, shift the hips back. Again, taking this seat, a seat inside yourself. Shift the weight into the right leg, cross the left ankle over the right knee. Of course, you can always hold on to something or put the buttocks against the wall. And sit deep, stretching into the left hip. The forearms can rest down on the thigh. The hands can stay at the heart. The hands can rest down on the shin. If your hips are particularly open this morning, you can take your hands to the floor. Keep the right foot strongly flexed. And inhale, come all the way up. Release the left foot and pause. Feel the tectonic plates shifting in your hip, moving, adjusting, creating opening. And then go to the other side. Bend the knees, cross the right ankle, flex the foot. Figure 4, and sit. Taking whatever support you need. You should feel this in the external rotators, so the buttock muscles of your right hip, and it should feel like a stretch. Sit as deep as you want to sit. The deeper you go, the deeper the stretch. Of course, it's very easy to overdo anything, so just be attentive. Another breath. Inhale, come all the way up, and exhale, release. Steadying and standing strong on that right leg, hugging the muscles in to make a pillar of strength. Vrikshasana, tree pose, spin out the left foot, bend up the left leg, press the left foot into the right thigh, or into the calf, just not into the knee. And stretch your arms to the sky. Keeping the pelvis facing forward, use the left buttock muscles to open the left knee more to the left, but without turning your hips. So the knees opening not by virtue of the hips turning to the left, but by the buttock muscles engaging and rotating the thigh bone out to the side more. Take a breath. Bring the hands to the heart. Come back to figure 4, left ankle over right knee. Sit. Maybe a little deeper now. Hips are a little bit more warmed up. Take hold of your left foot with both hands and stand up and bring it with you. The right leg goes straight and you lift the left foot up any amount. Standing pigeon. Roll the shoulders back, lift your heart. Take one more breath. Good, and then exhale, release the left foot. Steady, down to the floor. Anchor it. Then make that whole left leg strong and steady. So you engage muscles to bones and pull from the earth like you're building a mountain, like you're 2 tectonic plates building a peak. Pull up from the foot into the pelvis. Rotate the right leg out to the side and place the right foot. Hands to the heart. Work the gluteal muscles to open the right knee more, and then stretch the arms to the sky. And then practice being aware of your being. Inviting that sense of awareness to then connect you beyond yourself to the rest of the people practicing with you today on Zoom or wherever you are. Figure 4 pose, hands to the heart, bend the left knee, cross the right ankle, and sit into yourself, into whatever the inner landscape is today. Whether it's flying high from visiting grandchildren in California, or it's flying low or being stuck at home, whatever it is. Take hold of the right foot, stand up with it. Keep it flexed. Don't let that ankle sickle. Lift the foot any amount. Roll the shoulders back, and then press from the core of the pelvis down into your left foot and let that downward motion rebound you up towards the sky. Exhale, release the right foot. Place it nice and firm. Circle the arms up, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, fold and bow in. 2 more breaths, just like that. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale and fold. Bend the knees, lift the heels. Hover, balancing, hips sitting on heels perhaps. If your knees don't bend this much, you can keep the hips elevated, the feet flat. Bring the hands to the heart. Being in this in-between place, hovering between earth and sky, but pulling all the while into the center of who you are. One more breath. And exhale, Plopasana, sit back on your hips. Stretch out your right leg on the floor, but keep the left knee bent. So we're going to do a forward bend that is a bind, and here's a few options. So the full form of the pose, the left arm goes on the inside, wraps around, and the hands clasp. If your hands don't reach, you can hold a strap. If you don't want to do that because of back or shoulders, you can just keep the arm pressing against the knee without letting the knee press out and lean forward like this. So 3 options. You can also just put a strap around the foot, anything that will serve you today. So if you're wrapping, wrap. If you're not, take your alternative. And then press down into your sit bones, lift your spine up and roll your shoulders back. Then fold forward. So it's not a twist, it's a forward bend. Straight forward. As you go forward, keep the shoulders lifting away from the floor. So they're not just relaxing and collapsing down. There's this engagement of shoulder blades onto back. Spine extending long. One more breath. Then release the hands. And we're going to play. We have a pose called baby cricket pose. This is infant cricket pose, pre-baby cricket pose. So the right hand goes out to the side. So rather than facing the fingers towards the foot, it's going to face away. Nice and firm next to your hip. With your left hand, you're going to reach and hold onto your right foot. If you don't reach, you can hold a strap, but hold the strap as close to your foot as you can. So there's a real tension there. And then pushing down, lift up the foot, lift up the hip. Put the hip down, put the foot down. We're going to do that 2 more times. Foot up, hips up. Yeah, good, Arlene. Hips down, foot down. Last time. Foot up, hips up. Yeah, that's it, baby. Hips down, foot down. And release. Stretch out the left leg. And then set and chit. Pause. Let yourself be. Feel how the pose is moving in your body. Decide if you need to modify in any way for the second side. Bend up your right leg. And we're going to bind around the right leg or strap around the foot, behind the back, or arm into the leg. When you've got your clasp, side body long, roll the shoulders back. The front shoulder is not going to move much, but do the action of moving it and then hinge forward out over the length of the left leg. The left leg is strong, the toes spreading, and you're aiming for your left foot, so straight ahead. Yeah, that's a good part. Breathe. And be in the pose. The right knee hugs towards the body, whether you've got your arm around it or it's just muscularly pressing it. One more breath. And release the hands, bring yourself up. And place the left hand, fingers pointing out to the side, pretty much in line with your hip. And then right hand to the outside edge of the left foot or hold the strap. Foot up, hips up, hips down, foot down. Foot up, hips up, hips down, foot down. Landscapes rise and fall, foot up, hips up, hips down, foot down, and release. Stretch out both legs. And then take the left leg and cross it over the right leg. And again, we're going to twist, this time to the left. So left hand behind, sit the spine really tall, the sit bones really heavy, and keep the right leg strong and clear in its direction. Lift up the right arm, and then use those oblique muscles on the side of your waist to twist yourself to the left. Then hook the elbow over the knee. If hooking the elbow feels like it's too much on the shoulder, you can just hold the knee. Turn the gaze gently to the left and breathe. With each inhalation, rise up, a mountain being formed. With each exhalation, sink lower, gullies being created through erosion, through time, revealing the beauty in the rock. Inhale, untwist. So your left foot is pointing in the same direction as your right foot. We're going to switch it so it's pointing at a right angle. So the left foot turns, and the right pinky toe goes down to the floor. So you turn onto the side of your leg instead of the back of your leg. So here's a partial baby cricket. And you'll see why it's called cricket pose. So just watch for a moment. The shoulder hooks in front of the leg. The two hands are wide, pressing, and then we lean forward towards Chaturanga. Do I not look like a cricket? I mean, really. I think I do. I can even jump. So, follow with me. Turn your left foot to face at a right angle. Turn onto the pinky toe of your right foot. So you're on your right hip. Take the right arm in front of the bent knee, hands wide. And then bend the elbows and bring your heart forward. So your arms make like big cricket hopping legs. Inhale and sit up. We're going to stay on this side with an option for full baby cricket pose, which is just what we did, except that the left hand holds the right foot, the foot lifts up, the hips lift up, and then the elbow bends chaturanga. So everything's up, but that foot and that hand, just like when we were doing the infant cricket pose. So either you can repeat baby cricket, the prep, or take the full pose. So if you're taking the full pose, take the left hand to the pinky toe side of the right foot, lift the right leg up, push down into the left foot, hips up, and then bend the elbow, right arm in chaturanga, heart forward, hips down, foot down. Well done. Great. Stretch out your left leg. Cross the right leg over the left. Before we go anywhere, just pause for a moment, Sat and Chit. And notice what's arising for you. Arm balances are generally a very challenging class of poses. They're hard to do. So just feel whatever's rising up in your landscape. And then take a deep breath and open to the fact that you are more than just this body, mind, being, that you are connected to everything. And that the highest purpose of practicing yoga is coming to that, not doing baby cricket pose. Right hand behind the back, left elbow over the right knee. Lift the spine up, breathe in, and exhale, begin to twist. Just settle into your breath, holding the twist. Feeling the ebb and flow, the rise and fall. The movement of the vertebrae in your spine, movement of the shoulder girdle, vertebrae in your neck. With the next inhalation, untwist. Turn your right foot at a right angle and turn onto the outside edge of your left leg. So you're on your pinky toe. Then wedge your right arm on the inside of the leg and place the hands wide. Everything stays on the floor. Bend the elbows and lower yourself partway down. I'm going to turn the other way so you can see in the front. And then straighten the arms. Come out of your cricket. We're going to do cricket again, this time with the option to lift up. So left hand stays maybe a little closer to the body. The right arm goes in front of the leg, catches the pinky edge of the foot, lifts the right leg up, hip up, and then bend the left elbow and draw the heart forward. hip down, foot down, and release. Stretch out the legs wide on either side. Trikonasana. Internally rotate the legs. And we're going to do this side variation of this pose. Bring the left hand to the hip. And then lean over to the right. And the right forearm can come down to the floor. If you have a block, you can rest your right forearm on the block. You can also just keep the hand on the floor for support. And make a twist to the left. Stretch the left arm up and reach it over towards your right foot. Keep the shoulders stacked. Try to avoid the left shoulder dropping forward. And turn yourself open as you fully extend in every direction. Muscles strong and bones lengthening. From that center point in your body, core of the pelvis out in every direction. Good. Inhale and come up. Sat. Chit. Left forearm over to the left. Right hand on the hip. Roll the right shoulder back. And then anchor the right buttock and right thigh bone right at the top of the thigh bone down. Stretch the right arm over the ear. Spread out your toes. And breathe in the pose. One can always park the top hand on the hip. Take another breath in, out, top shoulder rolling back, and then inhale yourself all the way up. Good. Bring the knees together. And then windshield wiper the knees down to the left and place the left hand flat on the floor. Bring the right hand to the hip and rooting down into your shins, come up to stand on the shins. Externally rotate the left shoulder, roll the right shoulder back too, press the palate back, and then stretch the arm over the ear and take a back bend. Full deep breath. Now your gluteal muscles just a little bit, sweep them under, lean yourself back a little bit more. And then exhale, hips down. Take a breath. Shift the knees to the other side. Right hand firm on the floor. Left hand on the hip. Take a breath in. Lift up onto the shins. Roll the shoulders back, both shoulders. Curl the head back, the ears back, and then stretch the arm and curl back. Deep full breath. Reaching back any amount. Engage the buttocks muscles gently to sweep the hips down and under and lean back a little bit more. And settle. Hips back down to the floor. You pull the knees together. And please lie down on your back. Bridge pose. Bend the knees, feet flat on the floor. And step the heels nice and close to the buttocks. This is the bridge between the inner world and the outer world, the inner landscape and the outer, connecting the two. Bend up the forearms. Lengthen the shoulders towards the ears and then press the shoulders and the elbows down, lifting the heart up off the floor and press into the feet, lift up the hips. From the palate, press straight down into the back of the head, into the floor. Not hard, just a gentle but clear connection into one side of life. And then from that point, extend out through the whole arc of the body to the knees and then down the shin bones into the feet and press the feet firmly down. The glutes are gently engaged, not gripping and squeezing. Take one more breath and then exhale, hips down. Stretch the right leg to the sky and lift everything up again. Bridge pose, right leg up. Reaching for the highest peak, but staying anchored through the left foot into the lowest valley. Exhale, hips down. Bend the right knee, put the foot down. Take a breath. Stretch up the left leg. Root to rise. Push down, lift up. Extending in every direction. Honoring where you are today. Hips down, left foot down. And just for a few breaths, drop the knees out to the side, soles of the feet together, and rest the palms face up. Just 5 breaths here. Sat, Chit, Ananda. All of us exist. We're aware of our existence. And that awareness connects us into the bigger whole of existence as a whole. All the strata of rock and wind and trees, the beauty of the landscape of who we are. Taking the hands, pull the knees together. Stretch your arms overhead and drop the knees left and right. Come to happy baby pose. Catch the pinky edges of feet. Tilt the sit bones down towards the floor. Maybe a gentle rock side to side, massaging your back. Hug the knees into your chest, embracing yourself. All the things that have moved you, shaped you, guided you to be who you are today. Take a deep, long breath in. And as you exhale, stretch yourself out in preparation for Shavasana. If you want to put extra layers on or cover yourself, do whatever you need to be really comfortable. Relax your body onto the floor. Rest in the landscape of who you are. The beauty that is you. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om. Breathe into your inner world and breathe your inner world back out into the outer world, deepening your breath and adding movement to fingers and toes, stretching your body and making your way to your right side. And slowly help yourself up to sit. Turn your palms together in front of your heart and bow your head to the inner world, your inner world. And bow your head to the practices that help us navigate, negotiate, and appreciate that inner world. Beauty is everywhere. It's in the landscape around us, and it's in the inner landscape. Sometimes it's just a shift in perspective that turns the way we see things into something beautiful. Let's chant one Om to close our practice. Please take a deep breath in. Om. Thank you for your practice this morning. I honor each of you and all of my teachers. Namaste.
Thank you, Chit.